Conference. I feel extremely honoured to be standing here as, oh goodness me, I still haven't got over that, as the new president of this wonderful union, the NASUWT, especially here in the city of Glasgow. It's fantastic. Angela Butler, thank you, and my only bit of Welsh, diolch, for handing me this bling. What a hard act you will be to follow. And I echo everything you said about me, same. Here we are, 2 Welsh presidents in a row. I know I live and work in England, but my heritage is Welsh. You have had an amazing year, and thank you for your hard work, your passion for, and your commitment to this union while you were president. Not only do I follow you with a Welsh heritage, I also follow a line of presidents from District 17 and from the Eastern region. Clearly, activism in the Eastern region inspires us to want more, and I now mention our new Senior Vice President, Rashida Din, who is also from the Eastern region. I look forward to the continued support I know I'll get from Angela, Rashida, and Michelle. We should be proud that 4/5 of the officers are women, and that we have an officers group with the widest diversity ever. I welcome Wayne Broom as our new Junior Vice President. However, sadly, when someone new comes, it means someone must leave us. I would personally like to thank Phil Kemp, who has come to the end of his term of office. Phil, you may not be on the officers group anymore, but I know you will not be lost to the NASUWT. You have left a remarkable legacy, a true trade unionist. This acknowledgement must also include our amazing National Executive team. We're so lucky to have them. And our General Secretary, Patrick Grouch, in case you don't know. And the staff of the NASUWT. As a lay side of the union, we are lucky to have wonderful support and some talented staff. Well, colleagues, what about me as your president? I attended a very large comprehensive school in Swansea in 1970 called Mynydd Bach. It was the year that grammar schools were abolished in Swansea, and the school changed from a secondary modern to a comprehensive. Quite a landmark adjustment for teachers of the day, but it did afford equal opportunities for students, all students in Swansea. The school had extracurricular clubs. I was in the school choir, performed in school plays, attended drama club, and so I enjoyed the early years immensely. I did not, however, enjoy the A-level courses I chose. I lost a lot of confidence. I left school at 17 and went to work for West Glamorgan Health Authority. They sponsored me to do a vocational qualification in medical laboratory science at NASUWT Tech. While working in the hospital labs, that's when things began to change for me. I took an apprenticeship that guaranteed a job at the end. Novel idea. We need more, because this gives a choice for students along with meaningful apprenticeship opportunities. For me, I was lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time, and I still achieved what I needed. My chemistry lecturer at NASUWT Tech was one of the first teachers to actually take an interest in us as students. He was funny, like all Welsh people, and explained chemistry in such a way that was accessible. He got to know us all and took an interest in our futures. He inspired my love of chemistry. At last, someone suggested I needed a challenge and encouraged me to apply to Trent Poly, as it was then, now Nottingham Trent, to do applied chemistry. I started my teaching career in '99, and I have always worked in Essex. I was attracted to my current school, Mewsham High School, Chelmsford, because it has the policy to teach all subjects in specialism. I've always been lucky enough to teach chemistry at GCSE and A-level. In 2006, I was appointed the head of chemistry and subsequently appointed head of science in 2011. I am still a serving teacher at that school after over 20 years, and I am currently the school rep. Nobody stepped forward. I have stayed so long at my school as it's been such a privilege to teach my specialism. Teaching in specialism is a major strength of the school and pupil progress. When I started there in 2002, not many students studied chemistry at A-level or beyond. I was part of a team that inspired students to take chemistry further. We went from one small chemistry group of 6 to over 40 students taking chemistry per year. There are also a large number of students way above national average that take the separate science because of this policy. The science team at Mewsham High School, another part of my family, are committed and amazing, and they too enjoy the privilege of teaching in specialism. Their expertise means that schemes of work and teaching are relevant and they're up to date, and that's important. But I realized very early on how challenging this policy was to maintain. It's difficult to find specialists, particularly in physics and chemistry, and the other STEM subjects. When head of science, I found trying to recruit and appoint good quality science specialists to science teacher roles a challenge, and it still is. The problem is mirrored in other schools, in many other schools. In the past, STEM subjects, such as computer science, engineering, chemistry, and physics, have been harder for children and young people to access, particularly girls and those from disadvantaged backgrounds. I personally have always loved science, and I found it very hard to understand why other people were not as enthusiastic as me. I experienced firsthand a reluctance of students to choose the STEM subjects, and I wanted to actively promote science and scientific opportunities. I wanted to see more girls and women wanting to study chemistry and physics, as at the time the small A-level classes were all or mostly boys. As a school, we started STEM clubs in science and computing. It was a way to break down barriers, giving pupils the opportunity to explore the subject and have fun. And as teachers, we need more time to be able to do that. We also need more time to be able to think outside the box. In 2010, I was fortunate to take a group of 50 students to an actual STEM conference at the IET headquarters in I've lost my page. Oh dear, I've lost a page. It's not here, so it's obviously fallen on the floor. Okay, I'm just going to have to ad-lib. And it was, what will science and technology be like in 2010? 2020, sorry, it was in 2010. And we also took some students to CERN. Now, I've lost the page of the speech, so I'm really sorry. I started my activism in the National Union of Students and left Swansea to study at Trent Poly. I'd only been at Trent for a term and found myself volunteering for security and concerts and events, obviously to enhance my social life at first. Of course, I got hooked and was subsequently elected to the executive committee of the student union. My campaign motto, and it wasn't my creation, it was, if it moves, organise it. It was when I became a member of the NASUWT in 1999 that my activism fire was rekindled. I was elected school rep in 2004, and I had started assisting the rep to organise the members, so I was the obvious next choice. The head teacher at the time was extremely supportive of trade unions and immediately allowed me to attend the Reps 1 and 2 course. Very rare now, I feel. I've worked for 3 notable head teachers, all of them different, but each of them have sincerely, fully supported me in my teaching and union roles. Each of them had a true open door policy, and I'm grateful to them for that. Why can't other school leaders demonstrate the same support for teachers? My current head teacher has been particularly supportive, and when I go to a door and utter the phrase, "Have you got a minute?" Despite her face growing pale at the sight of me, she has always more than a minute to listen. For that, I'm grateful. And I can honestly say that working at Mulsham High School and for Bridge Academy, my personal activism has never hindered me in my career. A well-supported activist can develop, improve, and enhance the workplace, making better conditions for everyone. We are not the problem. Unions are part of the solution. In early 2008, I was approached to become the local secretary of Mid-Essex. I said yes, not really knowing what I was letting myself in for. I thought I was only going to take a few minutes. Little did I know. At about the same time, I became active in the Essex Federation, and I'm still an active caseworker, benevolence visitor, and trainer. I became the national executive member for District 17, which includes Essex, Suffolk, Southend, and Thurrock, and that was in May 2016. I attended my very first NASUWT conference in Bournemouth as a representative for Mid-Essex. I didn't know what to expect, but I convinced my colleague, Antoinette, to come with me. We took our children, my 2 sons, Matthew and Michael, and her daughter, Georgina, and after depositing them in a Nipperbout creche, we went to conference. We were truly part of this huge organisation with fellow delegates from Essex and across the UK. We were hooked. So much so that both of us have stood on the Standing Orders Committee over the years. Annual conference is where we could talk to like-minded people and make a difference. I've attended conference ever since, and my family know that Easter belongs to the NASUWT. Essex Federation and the 5 local associations in Essex, what a team. And I'm looking at them all now there. Hardworking, passionate all the way, you've made such a difference to our members. You're my friends for life, and you're simply always there. This is the bit where we... Same goes for my dear friends in Suffolk Federation. You truly welcomed me as your NEM. And like Essex, you were always there for me and our members. The Eastern Regional Committee, being part of that committee and the work they are doing to promote and educate activists in equality and diversity has been a privilege. We've come a long way, and clearly over the years, this inclusive activism has inspired many of us to have the confidence to look further and represent the NASUWT in other forums. The staff at the Eastern Regional Committee are always there for us, and I can honestly say nothing is too much trouble for them in supporting the region. I have to thank, and I don't know where he is, I think he's here somewhere, I have to personally thank Keith Anderson, our regional organiser, who organised me into realising I was not just a minute taker, I am a trade unionist. And I thank him for that. I am most grateful to my husband, Mike. Without his support over the years, I would not have been able to first retrain as a teacher and keep going in our challenging profession. I would definitely not be here as your president today and be so active in the NASUWT without that support. Thank you for putting up with me for being away from home so much, and thank you in advance for more of the same in my presidential year. Without the support, the full support of Mike, my sons Matthew and Michael, all my extended family, I could not have done this. My sons have only known me as a teacher, and so they also thank their dad for going to parents' evenings instead of me, because apparently I was a nightmare. None of us can be such effective activists to do what we do in our profession without the full support of our family and friends. Finally, the NASUWT will always defend the rights of teachers. Together we will strive to allow teachers to use their professional judgment, be free to do the job they've been trained for and love. We will continue to fight against policies that are a barrier to this. NASUWT is dedicated to protect and maintain the profession we care about. In my small way, I hope to do you proud in my presidential year. If we are to win the battles of the future, we need to stick together, all of us, in the finest and only union for teachers, the NASUWT.